Hello, folks, and happy summer. Now that I have the time to do these videos, not at the crack of dawn, I want to spend some time today talking about a particular part of the game where I've been spending a lot of my time, effort, and energy over the last year, and that is the mod store. Now, the mod store is something that we are all familiar with. It is something that has existed within the game for a very long time, but I do think that it is an underutilized asset within the game, and I'd like to use math to change your opinion on that. With that said, this is an official math trigger warning. Now, before we start, I want to give a shout out and a big thank you to Alex on Discord. He is a member of this community. He does post on Reddit as well, and you will always know when it is an Alex post, specifically because it has more numbers than my posts. They are typically longer than my posts. They make a lot more sense than my posts, but when you look at who it is posted by, it is not by Egnards. Now, Alex is the member of this community who has brought a lot of this math to me, and he is somebody that I trust pretty much fully because of his proven track record and the long history I've had in working math with him. He does not have a video avenue with which to share this with people, and I'd love to send you his way. But for now, he is somebody that largely exists most of the time only on Discord, and in the future will likely say to other people, oh, yeah, I'm that one guy from that one Egnards video that nobody watched. But with all of that said and done, let's start talking. Now, we have our mod store here, and this is something that you guys probably look at 4 times a day just when you're seeing the refreshes. It's interesting to know, and I didn't actually know this myself because I hadn't put in the effort to look at it. While I did know that these first 6 slots are all episode currency slots, that the next 4 slots are essentially completely random within shape, set, and rarity, and then each of these 2 slots afterwards do happen to follow a particular pattern, not of rarity, but of shape. So those first two being square, then arrows, 2 diamonds, 2 triangles, 2 circles, and 2 crosses. This is going to change how I do things in the mod store because if I am looking for something particular, I know exactly where to go within the shop. Another thing that I personally did not know was that it seems to be about a 50% chance in cost when it comes to credits or shipbuilding material. I have always assumed that there was a little bit more to it than that, but the math seems to show that once you get past these episode currency slots, that everything is essentially a 50-50 randomness, and that means you could effectively, technically, get a store that is all credits or a store that is all shipbuilding materials. But that on its own is not the most interesting part. When we look at the actual math on farming mods, the majority of players are farming 150 crystals per day or 3 refreshes, and that's going to give you a maximum of 64 mods when we are looking at our actual campaign and the mod battles, right? The gold purple mods that drop from these battles have about a 2 to 4% drop rate, which means that over the course of your entire farming day, you are going to see approximately 3 to 4 gold or purple mods. That is not that much. Now, a good mod can be blue, a good mod can be gray, but a lot of the times players are looking for things at the higher end so that they don't have to burn their materials that they're earning here if they don't have to. However, the mod store is a little bit different. The store naturally refreshes 4 times a day, which means that there are 84 mods visible, another 22 available if you refresh. It is important to note that these refreshes for 15 crystals, you are able to refresh the store 99 times, and it is 15 crystals every single time. That never increases. Ask me how I know, but don't really because I'm embarrassed to say. Whew. 10 refreshes in this store is 220 mods visible, plus the original 88, which means there are 308 mods visible for the same cost as getting 150 crystals from your refreshes. Gold purples appear to have a roughly one quarter or 25% appearance rate, but you don't control the set. That means that on any particular day, you can be seeing up to 154 gold and purple mods, right? So 25% for gold, 25% for purple. So about half of overall mods are going to be somewhere in there. You're going to have the opportunity, instead of seeing three or four of those in a day for the same cost, you're going to see 154 of them. Now, that is agnostic of any particular set, which means if you are specifically and only looking for speed set mods, you may not see what you're looking for here, and it might be better to do things in the mod store. It's the mod battles itself. But as a player in a game where there is a roster of 330 characters, I, for one, know that even if I am particularly looking for a speed set mod, that I do want to look for other things as well. So I'm going to kind of show you how I walk through this store. And I don't do 99 refreshes a day. I do kind of vibe myself through this. And I would say that approximately I do between 10 to 20 refreshes in any given day, depending on how I am feeling. And I will say, when it comes to my materials, I try to keep my credits somewhere above 100 million just in case. And that comes from old sensibility with increase and upgrade costs in the old game, which have been significantly reduced. So I think I'm going to probably drop that down to about 50 million. And I do try to keep my ship building material to somewhere around 15 to 20 million. So unless I find a perfect mod here, I'm probably not going to be using ship building material. I will say that these episode currency mods are where I focus a lot of my effort. Now, if you have an episode pass, you get so much episode currency that I very strongly recommend purchasing mods through this avenue right here. If you're in the early game, maybe you don't have the ability to do that. Maybe you're buying omegas here. Maybe you're buying shards here. Maybe you're also buying gear here. But as you get towards the end game and you're only buying omicrons, sometimes you're buying focus datacrons, and you are probably buying these mod materials. You can see that with the episode pass, I am still getting a very, very large amount, especially when I consider that in the next episode or the next week when this carries over, we're going to be in an entirely new episode and I'm going to have an entirely new track to work on. So if you have the episode pass, I very strongly consider looking at these first 6 slots. If you do not have the episode pass, if you are a free to play player, you are probably not going to care about those 6 slots, and you are almost exclusively going to be purchasing the Omicrons from here, maybe signal data as well, but almost definitely those Omicrons. So let's take a look. And the nice thing with using the mod store is that I can be a lot more picky about the mods that I am looking for, right? So I see right here the speed mod for speed, but everything else on here is flat stats. This bottom one here could potentially be something like offense percent, but I'm probably not going to take the risk on that. I don't particularly care. This defense mod, however, 5 speed, tenacity percent, offense percent, I think it's a middle of the road mod. I personally, because it's a defense mod, would probably rather have defense percent, but this also could be used instead of a health mod on an attacker as the secondary set. So I'm going to go ahead and buy it. And, later on I can see what happens there. Looking through everything else, I don't see anything else that I particularly want right now. So we're going to hit that refresh. Um 2x crits, offense, has speed and health percent on it. I don't know what else is here. I have no idea, but I do think that that's worth the risk. Nothing else for episode currency. Scrolling down, I don't. Ooh, defense, tenacity. Tenacity, I don't use on a lot of characters. If this was for credits, I probably would buy it, but I'm going to hold off for right now. Let's refresh that store again. See, 5 speed, protection, primary on a speed set. I don't like this flat stat, but because it is a blue mod, I have 2 other opportunities right here, and it is only 75 episode currency. I'm going to gamble. I'm going to take the risk on that one. Uh, Going down, 2x crit, 4 speed. I've been buying a lot more 4 speed mods lately because the secondaries matter just as much. This is all percent based, right? Defense, protection, health, and offense. It's not a perfect mod. I really don't want to spend my shipbuilding materials, but I'm going to take a risk on that one in particular. We have an offense, a primary on an offense set, 5 speed mod, defense secondary, health percent secondary. I think that this one may be worth the risk as well. If I can hit 5 natural speed on this, it's going to be a really nice mod for somebody, even if I have to hold on to it for a while. I'm not going to care about this 3 speed here. Defense on a 2x crit triangle, not worth it for me. I'm going to keep on going. Let's see. Protection primary on a crit. I have no offense here. If one of these 2 stats was offense, I probably would make that purchase. I want to avoid my shipbuilding materials right now. 5 speed defense, health set, offense percent. Sure, I'm going to take that risk. Right. And now I know some of you may be sitting here going, man, it's so much fun watching Egnards buy mods, but I hope that what you're taking from this is that I am looking at the speed and I am looking at the secondaries, and I am also being a lot more selective than I am able to with the mod battles that happen, right? I look through, nothing I like here. Really don't want to use those shipbuilding materials right now. It's not a big deal. Sometimes I do whole refreshes in the mod battles and get literally nothing, and everything gets deleted anyway. Uh, Nothing from that one. No, don't like what I'm seeing here now. This, if these weren't flat, might not be terrible. Let's see. Right. And again, it's 15 crystals, and I don't have to purchase the things here. 2x crit, health percent, it has offense percent, but it also has 2 flat stats. Maybe if it was crystals, I'd take the risk here. If it was credits, I'd take the risk here. I'm not going to take the risk when it comes to shipbuilding materials because I am already low. Right. Offense, no. Let's see if I can get one more decent refresh here. No. Okay. Credits. It is a potency set, has potency on it, 5 speed, and health percent. Definitely going to buy that one. Um, Defense. I don't really like defense as a primary on a lot of sets, so I'm not going to hold on to that one. 5 speed, protection, crit chance, tenacity. Not the best mod in the world, but with protection percent on a cross, I know that I am really hurting for those particular mods right now, so we are going to take the chance. Crit chance, health percent, we are going to take the chance there. Potency percent, protection percent. I don't like the shipbuilding materials. This is a nice one. Health percent, offense percent, 5 speed on a diamond. And we'll take the chance here only because it is credits. So here's the thing that I want to stress is that the mod store is super important to an end game player. It is very useful. I don't want to suggest that players not do mod refreshes, but maybe consider using the majority of your mod refreshes towards actual mod upgrade materials and doing the majority of your mod farming through the mod store. I personally do 6 mod refreshes per day, and I am not recommending that other players do that. It is a large crystal expenditure, but at the end game, I am able to support it. But if you are doing 3 refreshes on mod upgrade materials, and the approximation of roughly 3 refreshes, so 10 total mod store refreshes in a day, you are generally going to see a number of mods that are more beneficial to you than the mods that you are going to get in an empty capacity through the mod battles themselves. And I do want to stress that this is not an overall rule. Some days I do only 5 refreshes. Some days I have an excess of crystals over where I want to be, and I'm doing 30, 40, 50 refreshes. I know players who spend a hell of a lot of money who do 99 refreshes literally every single day. And I will stress that even doing those refreshes, sometimes I do farm mods through the mod battles. If there are particular mods that I am very low on at the time and really want to throw a wider net into the game. All of that said and done, I hope that you find this helpful. Once again, Alex is the member on Discord. He is also on Reddit as well, who has provided me with this information. And I do trust that information. And he did back it up by showing me his experiments. He is somebody in the end game community of this game and who should, when he gets off of his ass and decides either to start a Substack or do some videos of his own, who should be taken seriously when it comes to the math in this game. Peace out. Have a great rest of your day.